Namaskar and welcome to NFL Masala. I'm your co-host Anant, and today I will be breaking down what happened in Week 10 with a preview in Week 11. Unfortunately, Raksha could not be here, so this is just going to be a solo episode from my end, talking about the Packers, talking about them Packers, and those Eagles. Maybe we'll see. After some Dhamakedar news. So let's get started with some Dhamakedar news. First bit is Kenny Easley, former Seahawks, great defensive player and a Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, at the age of 66, passed away. He spent his entire 7-year career with Seattle, and he did pass away today with due to um some health reasons. So rest in peace. Second bit of news. This is more current. J.K. Dobbins injured, likely done for the season with the foot injury. He was going so strong for those Broncos, and eventually what happened is that he's going to be placed on IR. He suffered that injury in the third quarter of the victory against the Raiders, and he believes that his injury occurred on a hip drop tackle, which is technically not allowed by the referees, but guess what? The referees like to suck dick when they're watching the games and they're refereeing the game, so they never, ever, ever actually penalize a hip drop tackle, even though there are copious amounts of examples of hip drop tackles being done this entire season on Twitter, very easily verifiable. And like, what's the point? What is the point of adding the penalty if you're not actually going to enforce it? I'm going to get off my soapbox quickly, but what is the point of that penalty if you are not going to adjudicate it properly? Like, come the fuck on. So he is unfortunately injured throughout the entirety of the season, which means RJ Harvey presumably has the lead back responsibilities. We'll see how Sean Payton deems it fit this week. So we'll see. Now, what does it mean for J.K. Dobbins? Because next year his contract is going to expire, but the Broncos have come out and said that they want J.K. Dobbins back, and so far he's actually been doing a really solid job, despite the offensive woes for the Broncos. He's been one of their shining stars. He has 772 rushing yards on the season so far, with an average yards per carry of 5.05. So that's like one of the best. He's one of 9 running backs with enough carries to qualify, who have averaged at least 5 yards per carry this season. So he's the top 10 running back by those metrics. And it is, it is very sad that he was injured that way. Unforeseen, but there's a reason why this penalty exists. If you're not going to enforce it, why the fuck are you not? Why do you have that as a penalty then? But yeah, so there's that. Another bit of injury news. We only have injury news because that is the name of the game for the NFL. The Packers kicker Brandon McManus, dealing with a quad injury for the better half of this season, is also listed as doubtful. And the substitute teacher, who had back-to-back perfect games in weeks 5 and 6, he will get another chance on Sunday. He is going to be playing against the Giants, and that is excellent news because we could have used Haversick against the Eagles when we missed on that field goal for McManus and then potentially missed on another field goal that we could have had we not had these kicker issues, and we could have probably won the game, even though it was trash. So, yep, yep. So there is that. Um, we'll see how the substitute teacher kicks for the rest of the season now. We'll see. We'll see if McManus is out for the rest of the season. I don't think so. I think he might be back towards the later half of the season. Should he be back and be the starting kicker? No. Haversick needs to be. But we'll see what old man Bisaccia says. And finally, Milton Williams, the D tackle formerly of the Eagles and the Niners, who is now on the Patriots, who went with the Patriots on a long-term contract, is now going to be missing multiple weeks, and he is also placed on IR with a high ankle sprain against what he suffered against the Jets on Thursday. So there's a Thursday football game for this week. Jets versus Patriots. Patriots blew them out. Clearly, Jets are clearly the worst team in the league. So obviously, it was about to happen. Now, Mike Vrabel said that he's going to, you know, he's going to see what happens over the next couple of weeks and see if he could go back. But he just made the decision that he felt was best for the team in that instance, where he did not play in the second quarter or second half of that game. So there is that. Now let's move on to why we're actually here and why you Eagles fans are actually here to watch me commiserate the fact that the Packer season is probably over. Yeah, it's the same bullshit over and over and over and over again that has been plaguing this team for the entirety of this season. It's the same damn predictable offense. There has been very little change, and even when they do try and change, it is not consistent. They're not trying to build a consistent identity. They tried to be a run first team, but guess what? The offensive line is not blocking well. So what do you do as an offensive coordinator? Well, you try and find another identity, whether that's quick short passing, whether that's passing intermediate and going gung ho like the Seahawks offense has, right? Sam Darnold is one of the best deep ball throwers now and one of the most good deep ball throwers now. So in this case, it has to be said that LaFleur needs to step up and actually change this team's identity. It's going to be hard for them to reverse, do a 180 or do a 270 in the middle of the season, but it has to be done because this offense is not working. It is just too inconsistent. It has been too many mistakes. It's been relying on an old-fashioned idea of an offense that used to work before but is not working right now. And when it was working, it is really on fire because they're able to figure out the weaknesses of the defense and attack it. But unfortunately, you can't do the same thing with the Eagles defense. Like a top five defense like the Eagles, it's just not possible. So you have to stick with your strengths and figure out a way to exploit them for success. And I had said that this was going to be a low scoring game, right? I don't really like it was going to be a low scoring game at the end of the first half, and I thought that there was going to be some offensive explosion in the fourth quarter, but that did not happen at all because both offenses sucked ass. Both defenses were phenomenal. I have no qualms about this Packers defense. Zero qualms. Um, I'm only going to rant about the offense right now, and actually rant offense and special teams. But the defense, shut up. I mean, this is like a top three. This is the best defense in the NFC, hands down. I mean, shutting down the Eagles' offense for just 10 points is spectacular. Shutting down Saquon Barkley for that few for what, like only like 70 rushing yards or something. Um, 60 rushing yards. His line was 22 of 60. That's less than 3 yards per carry. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal. If only we could have done something on the offensive side. Now, the thing was, Jalen Hurts was not really pressured that much. And that is the other thing that has been cropping up recently, is sometimes the Packers pass rush is a little too late in getting to the quarterback, and they either have a ton of time or they're just able to find the open man. So in this case, largely speaking, we were able to shut down the Eagles. But there was that drive, the touchdown drive, with the beautiful throw, amazing catch by Devontae Smith, for that touchdown, where he just mossed the DB, I believe Nixon, or no, Valentine, where he mossed Valentine, for that touchdown. So there is that. But um, yeah, I just like this this offense. It needs some adjusting. It needs an identity check, you know? It is just impossible to um it is just impossible um to maintain a successful offense without having a core identity. And if your identity doesn't work, you have to be able to pivot. Because this league is brutal if you don't learn how to pivot and find other ways to win. They will catch you. So defensively speaking, amazing. Really nothing else other than like a consistent pass rush, but I'm really not worried about it because I believe in Jeff Hadley. I believe in that pass rush. I believe in Micah Parsons. I think when push comes to shove, when he needs a critical play, he's going to do it. But the offense is the real sticking point. LaFleur, he has to change the identity. And Love, he's been making mistakes. He hasn't been as bad as last year, but he also, like, it's weird. When Love is on fire, he is the the quarterback of the NFC. He's the best quarterback in the NFC, when he's on fire. And that is the sticking point because sometimes Love can get off rhythm. And once he gets off rhythm, it's hard for him to get back. So he starts forcing plays. And, you know, that is where LaFleur has to come in and help him. I get giving Love agency. I've been screaming it for the entire time. Hopefully he does do that. But being a head coach knows when you're dealing with a young quarterback, when to give agency and when to take control. And I don't know if I think LaFleur has just been too late at times at taking control and letting the reins go, which is not a good recipe for success. And so Love, again, it's a tough defense. He missed some very critical throws. There were also some critical drops in this game. And then injuries on top of that. Jenkins, he's out for actually let me see when he would be back. Um, so just checking on Elton Jenkins. He is on IR. So that is fantastic. Sean Ryan is going to presumably move to center. That means Jordan Morgan is going to come in the guard position. This is this is not good. This is not good. I mean, like, first of all, this O-line has not done a good job of blocking in the run. Pass blocking, they're fine. They have let up some pressure. They had they let up 3 sacks in this game. Um, but geez, this run blocking unit. I don't know if it's this unit or if it's the OC and Luke Butkus as the O-line coach, but in the past 6 seasons, from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, it has been a consistent downgrade. I think when Steno was the O-line coach, I think it was better. Up until 2023, we've had um, when so 2020, 2021, and 22, those years when we had Aaron Rodgers at QB, Steno at O-line coach, and oh my God, oh my God, what is his name? Hackett, Nate Hackett, Nathaniel Hackett. When he was our OC, it was a top 10 offense. 2020 we were number 1, 2021 we were 4th, and 2022 we were 8th in run block win rate. Now, also we had fantastic players during that time, but still, like, the Packers have always been good at drafting, like, they've largely been always good at drafting offensive line, at least for the past 15 years. So this is probably an O-line coach and offensive coordinator issue, which goes back to LaFleur again as the head coach. He needs to radically transform this offense because in 2023 we were 24th in run block win rate. 2024 we were 23rd, and now in 2025 through 10 weeks we are 24th. What is the use of getting Josh Jacobs if he is stonewalled like 2 yards in? Right? What is the use at that point? So it's it just leads to a completely dysfunctional and um, inconsistent offense. And just to drive home this fact, over the past 2 games, the Packers have had 11 drives where they took the ball into opposing territory, and on those 11 drives, they have scored 20 total points. 20 points on 11 drives. That is averaging less than a field goal, less than a safety. It is averaging less than a safety on those 11 drives. Completely unacceptable. And another symptom or another um, aspect of this broken offense, and this is from Warren Sharp as well, uh, on 2nd and 6 or more through the third quarter of this past game, there were 5 runs and 4 QB dropbacks, so a 56% run percentage. Those running back runs averaged 2.4 yards per carry, and because of those second down runs, the Packers averaged 9.1 yards on average on third down through the third quarter. That is the longest average to go in any game this season, and that had to be against the Eagles. It just had to be because this goes back to the identity issue. If your identity is failing, If your identity was, okay, first down, we run the ball, or if we get a good look, we throw the ball and we get a first down. Great. Second down, if first down fails, we run the ball. 60% of the time, we run the ball. Well, obviously, if your run blocking is not successful, then the defense is going to figure that out. And if you don't manipulate those looks, the defense is going to figure that out. Why aren't we doing more play action? Why aren't we doing more rollouts, more bootlegs, potentially more RPOs? We know Jordan Love has the wheels. Let's utilize that. You don't have to get 10 yards. You can get 4. 4 on first down. That becomes 2nd and 6. Then do a short throw. Maybe you get 5 yards. That's a 3rd and 1. And a short throw does not mean behind the line of scrimmage for just for reference. It does not mean a wide receiver screen. So I don't know. Obviously, I'm not that smart in terms of football knowledge, but still, these are some things that are clearly evident from every Packers fan, from every Packers commentator as well, reporter as well, Packers film watchers as well. So instead of continuing to, I guess I have potential solutions. I don't know. We'll see. If running the ball inside zone is not working, then please just take it outside, because we had some good plays. Especially there was a play against the Eagles where we were in I formation, and it was I believe it was a sweep to the outside. Um, it was an off tackle play, and or sorry, no, it was a pin and pull play, and they did a great job of sealing the outside and giving Josh Jacobs a mountain of room to rumble on through, and he gets the first down. Like those type of plays need to be there more often than just hand the ball off, run into a packed wall, get 1.5 yards. That cannot be our run game solution. So take it outside, maybe do some more pin and pull, maybe 22 personnel. If you want to do inside, inside the tackles, inside the guards, you can do power or duo with 22 personnel. We have some good tight ends. Yes, we don't have Tucker Kraft, but we still have John Fitzpatrick and Luke Musgrave. They can still do the job 80% of the time. So that should be good enough. And to complement the run game, throw the ball over the middle of the field, please, for God's sake. Throw the ball over the middle of the field. Get Golden and Watson to create conflicts amongst the DBs and linebackers. Please. They are so good. Don't just utilize Golden as like a wide receiver screen gadget guy. Like, please give him some routes on the outside, maybe. Put Watson in the slot. He doesn't have to just run a go route or post route. Corner route. Like, just please throw the ball over the middle of the field. And this is also very critical. If the offense is at a critical junction of 3rd down and 4th down, and you have timeouts in your pocket, and you have time on your side, but it is the last drive of the game or last drive of the end of the first half, please, for the love of God, call a fucking timeout. Because there was that situation exactly at the end of this game where it was 4th and 1, a minute 26 left, 3 points We had two timeouts. We had two timeouts. What do we do? 4th and 1, two timeouts, minute and 26 left. This is like the end of the game. This should have been the last drive of the game. You call a timeout, right? You call a timeout, you reassess the situation, you get 40 seconds to reassess the situation, and you see, okay, is this the call that we want? If not, let's see what we can do. Maybe we do a fake run. You know, if they're expecting us to go short yardage run, maybe we fake out of it. You know, get the hands, get the ball in the hands of our gadgetiest gadget player. Maybe not like an end around, maybe not something behind the line of scrimmage, maybe something close to the line of scrimmage. But like, take the time out. I get that it's Love's call, but you're the head coach. You have the right to override that decision by taking a timeout. Take the fucking timeout. Because if we would have, we probably would have gotten that first down. And in that scenario, we could have then, slowly marched down the field because, hey, the Eagles were dumbasses and they gave us another chance with 27 seconds left. But it should not have even gotten to that level. We should have gone down the ground, gotten that touchdown, won the game. That should have been it. We had the momentum. We were doing a good job. Last but not least, definitely not the least, because Rich Bisaccia, you need to be gone. This habit of continuing to make the same decisions week in, week out. If so, in the press conference, or not in the press conference immediately after the game, but I think it was. If we say that Savion Williams, if you say that uh, people know that Savion Williams is so good and that's why they target him, okay, fine. Why is Romeo Doubs your punt returner? Don't you have anybody else? Don't you have anybody else? Why is our number one wide receiver the punt returner or a kick returner? And even if people know how to target Savion Williams, use that to your fucking advantage. Create plays where, you know, you could actually get Savion Williams in space potentially. Now, obviously, special teams is not as advanced as offense or defense, and it's not like you can create radical plays, but at least you could create space for Savion Williams and practice that. And Brandon McManus, um, I, it was what the hell, man? What the hell? If we had Haversick for that field goal attempt, if we had Haversick for that field goal attempt, we would have been able to win the game. And it wasn't even just that field goal attempt. There was another possible attempt that we didn't do because it was problematic. Um, there were three, actually, there were two others. So in the third quarter, It was a 4th and 9 on the Philadelphia 41. Now, that means that would have been a 59-yard field goal attempt, which Haversick had drilled a 61-yarder. So Haversick could have attempted that. McManus did not have the leg for that. And so we went for it on 4th and 9. Guess what? Was incomplete. So that was a turnover on downs. Once again, in the fourth quarter, it is fourth and the first drive of the fourth quarter. We are losing 3-0. We are down 3-0. It is 4th and 11, Philadelphia 40. So again, that's a 58-yarder. We punt. Haversick could have probably made that attempt. So that's 6 points that we could have gotten had we had chosen the better kicker. Why are we still with McManus? He does not have the leg anymore since his injury. He has that off the field concern that still rubbed some people the wrong way. We have it's a different scenario if the kicker was unproven. We have a proven kicker. He was perfect for 2 games. He got the fucking Packers franchise field goal record. Use him. Please. That was 6 points that we could have gotten had Haversick been there. And it probably would have been, we didn't even need to have, at that point for 4th and 1, we could have had a completely different drive. Completely. It would have been like 16-10. And, we would have then had 2:18 left to finish that drive. That would have been it. So overall, terrible inconsistencies. So yeah, it's just like, what the hell, man. All right, I'm gonna finish this. I'm done. I'm done. Moving on to the Bunch Minute segment of this week. AFC, Raiders versus Broncos. Broncos, they win 10-7 in possibly the ugliest victory ever. Yes, I know the Eagles won 10-7 versus the Packers, but still, this was even worse because Knicks was terrible, and somehow Geno Smith was worse. Fucking Tom Brady could have been a more successful as the QB behind there. Like 45-year-old Tom Brady still could have been a better QB there. Colts versus Falcons. Colts win 31-25 in overtime, and once again, Jonathan Taylor is making magic out of fucking bird feathers. 32 carries for 244 yards, 3 touchdowns. Those are regular passing touchdown numbers in a regular season game by an average quarterback. Not even average, like a top 12 quarterback. Those are insanity numbers. 32 carries, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like, come on now. Give him the fucking MVP. And controversy, but I will take it. I will agree. Jonathan Taylor 2025 season better than Saquon Barkley 2024 season. Eagles fans, come at me. I will say that. All right. Texans 36, Jags 29. The Jaguars blow another double-digit lead. They were up 29-10 at the end of the third fucking quarter. Like, come on, man. What the hell is that? Dolphins 30, Bills 13. What? How? Josh Allen, why? What? Mm, mm, the Bills, you got to figure this shit out, man. You can't lose to the Dolphins by 17 points. What the fuck? Jets 27, Browns 20. Pink Bowl lived up to the hype. And finally, Chargers 25, Steelers 10. Aaron Rodgers, it's time to ride out into the sunset. Now on to the NFC side. Patriots versus Buccaneers. Patriots, they win 28-23. Close fought game. Another hard fought victory by the Patriots. Drake May is looking spectacular. Mike Vrabel is the head coach for the Patriots. And the Patriots they're on their way, man. They are on their way to have another probable dynastic run. Maybe not dynastic run, but they are up there now with the top 5 teams. It is 2014 all over again. Seahawks 44 versus Cardinals 22. 22. Yeah, one of 2 games that ended in 44-22. So this was a surprising one because the Seahawks offense was kind of meh. Sam Darnold did not have a good game by his standards, but that defense had 2 fumbles returned for touchdowns. Cards. What are you doing? What are you doing? Kyler Murray ain't it. Jacoby Brissett is not carrying you to the playoffs. Looks like another burn and turn. So there's that. Rams 42, Niners 26. This I believe I'd picked as my Masala game of the week. And Rams just look like the best team in the NFC right now. Matthew Stafford is on pace for 47 passing touchdowns. Mac Jones is not cutting it, which is why they're going with Brock Purdy now. And wow, Rams, like, play action. Look at what happens when you run a lot of play action. If your running game is not working well, get some boot rollouts. This is what the Rams did, and look at how effective it has been for them. So please, at least copy some plays. You're in the same system, LaFleur. All right. Lions 44, Commies 22. Commies just pack up this season, man. I think we're done. We're gonna wait for Jaden Daniels next year. You need to retool that entire team. Ravens 27, Vikings 19. Congratulations, Vikings. You found another quarterback. Is what you would want me to say, but no, you haven't found him yet. Ravens just walked all over you. So there is that. Have fun. Um, Moving on to the preview for week 3 now. I'll get started with the Packers versus Giants. I'm going to keep it brief. I'm going to keep it brief. There is a tweet that I really liked. Let me just whoops. Okay, yeah. So Giants will be without their starting quarterback. Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback now after Jackson Dart has been concussed and is in concussion protocol. Russell Wilson has been benched. So Jameis Winston is now their starting quarterback. So Giants will be without their starting quarterback, their leading rusher, their Pro Bowl wide receiver, their second leading wide receiver, their starting edge rusher, and their kicker. They likely won't have one of their starting defensive linemen, nor one of their starting safeties. And their leading tackler and starting cornerback are listed as questionable. So, any other competent team, any other top 10 team would have been like, fuck yeah, easy win. Let's go blow these motherfuckers out of the city, and we're going to take our easy paycheck and run all the way back home. Packers, on the other hand, we're going to make it a tough game. We're going to play down to our competition. We are not going to blow out the Giants. Jameis Winston will find a way to have a perfect passer rating game against the Packers, and they will win 17-10. It is just written in the stars. It is written in destiny. They will win 17-10, and LaFleur will have the same exact thing said. And yeah, it's gonna be like that. But I have to be hopeful because otherwise, why am I doing this show? Um, if we were to be a competent team, the way to defeat the Giants is to utilize Watson, Golden, and Dobbs. Utilize those three guys. Distribute the ball to those three guys. Utilize them over the middle of the field. Create conflicts. Create havoc. Get out of the defensive line's sphere of influence by having Mac protect, or at least a six-man protection. And just go out there, execute play after play after play. No false starts, no holding penalties, maybe a few because the defensive linemen are actually good against the Giants, which is okay. If you get like two, that's fine. But limited penalties, go out there and execute, starting with passing the ball. That should be the number one emphasis, is get that passing offense back on track. Running, it's going to take a little bit more time because we just need to figure out what sort of running plays work, and that requires experimentation. But get Jordan Love in a rhythm, and at least we'll have an offense that can score 20 points. If the Packers had scored 23 points per game, we would have been 8-0-1. Outside of the Cowboys game. Outside of the Cowboys game. Sorry, no. Yeah. In those three losses, if we averaged actually not even averaged 23 points. What am I saying? Averaged like 17 points, we would have been 8-0-1. Our offense would still be questionable, but hey, we would have been 8-0-1. That is the level at which our defense is playing. We need to give them that support. So this has to be a magnifying glass, the thousands of magnifying glasses on Matt LaFleur and that offense, and that specifically that passing offense. Get it to a consistent rhythm, because when you do get into a consistent rhythm, Jordan Love is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He is unquestionably, he is one of the most explosive quarterbacks in the league when you get into a consistent rhythm. So please do. That is my key takeaway for this game. Keys to victory. Now, this is going to be a very interesting one. Since Rushek is not here, I'll tell you guys what he has mentioned. Now, the Eagles are facing the Lions. Sunday Night Football. Critical matchup. In terms of how the Eagles offense is going to face against this Lions defense, it is injured up to hell. There are like 10 people who are questionable. You don't have your starting CB. So, hey, guess what? Open up with the passing game. Look at that. The same issues that the Packers offense has, but at least you just have a better offensive line. Now, open up with the passing game. Look for AJ and Smitty, and you need to get Goddard involved in more of those deep shots as well. Take some more deep shots. Attack the middle of the field as the Lions secondary is very suspicious. And when the pass game is working, run the football. Like this is very, very much what the Packers need to do as well. Just look at what happened when you threw Devontae Smith the ball against the Packers. You guys were successful. Just has to be that. Target your two best players on your offense, besides Saquon Barkley. Now, in terms of the defense, this gets a little bit difficult because this Lions offense is humming and purring at the same at a great level. First off, you need to shut down Sonic and Knuckles. That run game is extremely good, and you should expect Fangio to have more four or more five-man fronts, and possibly more snaps from Campbell, from Jihad Campbell. But Nakobe Dean is a good run defender, so you have that duo. Um, you probably have Nakobe Dean on early downs, Jihad Campbell on later downs, and you work with that. But this priority is going to be to shut down Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, because once you don't have those, it becomes very difficult for the Lions offense to succeed. Now, with Sam Laporta being out, the Eagles secondary does need to have tight coverage. Quinyon should be on Quinyanawel Bay needs to be on St. Brown, obviously. Cooper DeJean should play in nickel corner, and probably Keely Ringo or Jacorian Bennett on Jamison Williams. And then finally, bring the pressure on Jared Goff. When that pressure is there, he becomes a headless chicken. He is not that mobile. So, I think the Eagles win. I hate to say it, but I think the Eagles win. I think it's very close, but I think they win. So, our games, I think the Packers. Realistically, I think the Giants, Giants, I think they're gonna win. They're probably gonna win. Excuse me. They're probably gonna win 17-10. But I think that like they're probably gonna win 17-10. But as a Packers fan, I have to say Packers win 17-13. So there's that. And the Eagles versus Lions, I think the Eagles win uh probably 28-25 or 28-21. We'll see. All right. That's going to be it for us today. If you guys have enjoyed, please leave us a review at one of the four podcast platforms that we host our podcasts on: Apple, Google, Spotify, and Pocket Cast. Or you could follow us on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube at NFL Masala 2022. That is spelled as at NFL MASALA 2022. And I'm going to hit you with our signature outro. Go Pack Go. Thank you and have an excellent night.